Welcome to this week's broadcast of Water, Wind, Wine Ministries. Today, I am talking about the fires in LA. Specifically, is God judging Los Angeles? There's a question. This is the truth about whether God is judging Los Angeles or not. Is this divine judgment or is it something darker? The fires ravaging Los Angeles in 2025 have left many asking, is this God's judgment on a sinful city? Looking at Revelation 18:8 states, "Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire." It's really tempting to draw immediate parallels, but the truth goes much, much deeper. Upon examination of Revelation chapter 18, verses 9 through 20, alongside what's happening in LA, you could make the case that the imagery of a burning city matches what is predicted in Revelation 18, 9 through 20. The destruction seems biblical in scale, but here's what most people are missing. There is a profound principle in Proverbs 28:2 that changes everything. It reads like this: "Because of the transgression of the land, many are its princes." Now, these aren't human princes. As a matter of fact, the Bible talks about princes in another place, and it's exactly the same word that is used in Proverbs 28:2. And that is in Daniel chapter 10, verses 13 and verse 20. And this is where the angel that's talking to Daniel refers to his own combat with the Prince of Persia. He fought against God's messenger, and he was referring to another angelic or demonic force, meaning the angel that was talking to Daniel was fighting a demonic force, and that demonic force was called the Prince of Persia. So this verse in Proverbs 28:2 and Daniel 10, 13, and 20 they all use the same word for prince, and they all mean the same thing. They mean a demonic force. So again, the verse in Proverbs 28:2 says, "Because of the transgression of the land, many are its princes." These are demonic. So here's the critical connection. The more sin that's in an area, the more demonic activity it attracts. Just as the New Testament calls Satan the prince of the power of the air, these spiritual forces gain territory through human sin. If we look at John 12:48, we can see the real truth about God's judgment. Jesus says that he who rejects me does not receive my words has that which judges him. The word that I have spoken will judge him in the last day. Note the crucial phrase, in the last day, not today, not in 2025, but in the last day. Why? Well, consider that the judgment of God is kind of like somebody going to eat at a restaurant. Imagine you're eating at a restaurant and there's someone with you, and that person that's with you doesn't eat. And at the end, not during the middle of the meal, but at the end of the meal, you get up and you go to pay. And you say to the cashier, "What do we owe?" And the cashier says, your bill is this. Well, the other person could offer to pay, but because they didn't eat, you offer to pay because you feel responsible. Well, that's what people do with Jesus. They either allow Jesus to pay the wage of sin, or they pay themselves. So the judgment doesn't come until the last day. It doesn't come until the meal's finished, as it were, okay? Also, I want you to consider the heart of God. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 29 says that for no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourished it and cherishes it, just as the Lord does the church. If these fires were God's judgment, why are they indiscriminately burning both believers and unbelievers? Why are the churches and Christian homes being destroyed alongside everything else? It doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't go along with the heart of God. So the 3 points that I've established so far are, one, that sin causes demonic activity, that God will have his word judge those who don't believe him in the last day, and that the fires are indiscriminately burning people in the body and outside of the body. But Ephesians 5 tells us that no one hates his own flesh, and therefore God can't hate his own flesh. And it says very plainly, God cherishes and nourishes the church. The evidence, therefore, is clear that these fires are not God's judgment. They are the natural consequence of concentrated spiritual darkness when a city's leadership and their culture actively promote sin. They're unknowingly inviting destructive forces that have no loyalty, no mercy, and no discretion. What do you think about this spiritual principle? How have you seen it play out in your own community? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe and to like this video if you've received value out of it. Remember that all judgment was placed on Jesus at the cross. What we're seeing in Los Angeles is not God's judgment. It's something insidious, which doesn't come from God. Remember that I love you and that Jesus loves you.